Hello, it's Ugg here, back with another painting video, and today I'm going to be painting a Clanrat. More, smaller than the last thing, but bigger, because it's a bigger scale model. Anyway, going to be painting these guys with red robes and standard sort of Skaven stuff. So we're going to kick off, and we're going to start with fist on red, thin down a little bit, and we're going to paint the robe. So let's get on and get this robe painted. Okay, so that's the first layer on, or the first base paint on. Forgot to say that I have primed the model using my standard Vallejo German Panzer Grey, and I'll stick a link into that paint now. So yeah, right, let's let that dry and we'll carry on. Okay, so now the Mephiston red has dried. There's about 2 coats we had to put on that. So that's the sort of consistency you're going to be getting, as you can see. So the next colour we're going to go for is rat skin flesh, and we're going to paint all the skin and the tail in potentially 2 coats of that. So let's get on, get painting. Obviously it's been thinned down, bit of water. As you can see, all the skin is now complete, and we may have to go back and apply another thin coat of that onto that, but we're going to see how it dries out. So we'll be back after the after this is dried out. Okay, so yeah, we had to put another little bit of a thin coat onto the rat skin flesh, but that's fine. So what we're going to do is a minor detail now. We're going to use Mechanica Standard Grey, and we are going to paint his little coat he's got, like there, as you can see, like this little bit hanging down there. It just gives a nice little contrast. It's obviously watered down a little bit, and yeah, we're just going to come along and paint this in here. And also what we're going to do is we've got some grey paint. I'm going to paint the base as well. So as you can see, got to be fairly careful here. Just, yeah. So as you can see, that little bit of grey is done now, and also the base has got some grey and it's just drying off. That's only because I'm obviously painting that. I've got more paint on the palette, so hey, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So we'll be back after the grey's all dried off. Okay, so now the skin's dried, and we that's 2 coats on that, and now we're going to paint the shield. Dryad bark. So let's go and do that. Obviously thin down, and probably be a couple of you can see we've done the shield, so we're just going to let that dry, and we'll be right back. Okie dokie, so the shield is dry now, as you can see. So what we're going to do next is we are going to paint all of the fur and the bits that will be metal in Mornfane brown. The reason why we're going to do that is we're going to make the weapons look like rusty and pitted, so a base coat, good base layer for doing that is Mornfane brown. But I'll explain in a second. So let's get on and start painting all the fur and all the bits that are going to be metal. You can see we've painted all the areas that will be metal, and in fact I did the livery bits as well. So his belt and his little pouch there containing rat bits side of it. Yeah, so that is, and all the chainmail as well, because you can see he's got chainmail underneath his robe, just little tiny bits of it. So there we go, and that's the metal and the spur prime. So right, so we're gonna let that dry. So back in a second. So now that brown's all dried off, we are ready to apply metal to it. Also, I put a little bit of Mephisto red into his mouth, so he's got a little bit of red mouth there where his tongue is. But anyway, so what you need to do is you need to get some lead voucher, and you need to take almost all of it off of the brush. So you take almost all of it off the brush, so you've almost got like a dry brush effect. Well, you want a little bit more, but almost a dry brush effect. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of tap it onto the brown parts that are going to be metal. So like this, just tap it on. That's going to create a really dirty metal, like a rusty metal effect. Okay. There. And then you do it for the other bits of metal, so like his sword. There you go, and the metal's ready to be done. Well, we're ready to go. Oh yeah, don't forget the chainmail as well. Got a little bit on the red, but don't really worry about it. You always get a little bit of red and paint over it. So, yeah, just let that dry off, and we'll be back to do the final base colour. Okay, so the final colour we're going to put on the model for the base coats is Carrick Stone. He's the tooth. Going to paint his tooth. And do that. Right, there we go, all done. So, gonna let that thoroughly dry, and we're gonna come back and do the next bit. Okay, so now all those layers have dried off, all those bases, not layers. We're going to use a wash of Agrax Earthshade all over the model, just to darken it down to give like more definition to the model. So, as always, give it a good old shake and make sure you haven't got too much on your brush, and then just sort of cover the model. Make sure it doesn't pull. There you go. Don't be afraid. Okie dokie. And you can see that that's now on there, looking quite wet. There. But it has sort of defined the model, as you can see. A lot more details are defined. And we are going to let that thoroughly dry. So we're going to make sure it's completely dry before we come back to it. So be back in a second. Also, what I'm going to do, I totally forgot, there's a tiny little rat on his feet. I'm going to quickly paint that as well, because I forgot. Got to paint the little tiny rat. Right, anyway, see you in a second. So now the wash has had time to dry. You can see that the model's got a lot darker. So now we have to brighten it up a little bit. So what we're going to use to do that is we're going to start with Cadian flesh tone for the actual skin. And we're going to sort of like highlight all the orange parts. So as you can see, all these little bits, and got to leave the wash. Try and leave the wash, and you can see that will brighten it up. Just go around and do all this. So there we go. That's all highlighted now. As you can see, it's kind of made the skin look a little bit more skin-like. Less orange, more skin-like. There we go. Right. So the next step is to bring a little bit more colour into the red. I'm going to use Evil Sun's Scarlet for that, and we're just going to do a highlight. So again, just try and paint where the wash isn't on the red. Yeah, so probably and it's almost like painting sort of like the highest parts of the model. You don't want a massive amount of paint on your brush, because that gives you more control, and you just get on and sort of fill it out. And you're trying to stay out of the recesses. Right, as you can see, that's done. The next step is to use Doomball Brown, easy for me to say, on the shield, and just highlight some of the edges of the wood, just to give it a little bit of a edge highlight. Oh, talking difficult. Right, less talking, more painting. As you can see, the shield is finished off. We struggle with wood. I don't know why. Bit what I white do. Let's just whack another wash over it. After I've done that. I don't know. I just want to make it slightly more darker again. I will do that. Anyway, I will do that in a second. Right. So we're done with the shield. I did put a little bit of Agrax back on there just to darken some of the shadows I accidentally got Doombull brown in. So yeah, it's looking better now. So final thing, going to be putting Carrick Stone. I'm going to use that to do a like a really small highlight on the little bits of sticky out fur. So you should get some on your brush and you should wipe almost all of it off, and then whereas like little bits of fur, like it's almost like a dry brush, but like micro dry brush. And then you just sort of like, nope, see how much you've got on there. No, you don't even want that much. Quite a light colour, so you don't want very much on there at all. It may not even be massively perceivable. Just on the little corners. The reason why is because when you paint other ones, they may have like larger amounts of fur than this one. So highlight of Carrick Stone, just to... Obviously this is like a little dude, so. Right, then onto the final part. We'll do it in a second. And the final part is just going back with a little bit of lead belcher on your brush and almost just pick along the edges, so like the edge of the weapons. That sharpen them up, make them look a bit sharper. I mean, you could use something else, but I mean, you know, the rest of the wall's quite dark, so. And then just on the edges here, maybe a little bit more tap in, yeah. With that being done, for a little dude, you can have loads of these. So that was it really. Oh, we got to do the little rat dude. I always forget to do the little rat dude. We'll just put a little bit of, you can't really see him very well, but there you go. Put a little bit of a highlight on him. Go. Right, so all we got to do now. That was just a little bit of Carrick Stone on the tooth. There you go. So all we got to do now is finish off the base, which I'm going to do with a wash of null oil and just paint the rim black. So I'll be back with a picture of the finished dude. Right, and here you can see the finished rat. It's a fairly quick paint job, so it should be fairly easy to do on your myriad of rat men you've got to paint. Hopefully it's been of some use to you. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, then it was absolutely marvellous. If you could like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that great stuff for more content, gaming and painting coming up on the channel. If you want to support us, then whack the join button, and then you can get access to our Discord and chat to us directly. With that being said, I want to say thank you very much if you've watched this far. I'll see you later.